Yeah, all right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first of our morning live streams. We're going to be each morning have two of our reporters sitting down and talking you through some of the biggest stories of the day, what we're working on. So we're due to start at 10:30, but you'll notice we're a few minutes late today. So hopefully the preparation will show.
But
in
a quiet room in this office, so
pardon?
I said it was very hard to find a quiet room in this office, so there was a lot of
Yeah, there's a lot of people about. So our front page stories today, we've got three stories on our front page. The first one I've actually written today. It's about the Labour leaflets. They've had three versions of the same leaflet, one for England, one for Wales, and one for Scotland. And while the English and Welsh ones blame the cost of living crisis entirely on the Tory government, and when I spoke to the UK Labour Party yesterday, they again doubled down and said it was the Tories' fault, the Tory government hammering everybody. The Scottish Labour leaflets say that it's the SNP that share the blame as well. So that's one of our lead stories.
Hamish, and interestingly not the Welsh Labour Party, who are in power in Wales.
Yeah, they don't get the blame at all. In fact, the leaflets say that the Welsh policies will help to mitigate the cost of living crisis. And when I was having a look, the Welsh policies that they're chatting about also exist in Scotland. So it's a bit confusing what they hope the SNP are going to achieve, but who knows?
Yeah. So have you got the council profile story on the front page today?
No, today's council profile is Judith. She's our chief political reporter, and she's been looking at Dundee, exactly. She's been just looking at whether the SNP can take majority control of what is famously the Yes City. So, I mean, me, Hamish, Judith, Steph, Abby, all of our team have been looking at council election profiles over the last month. We're coming to the tail end of them now. We've got a few left. I mean, just this morning, I've been speaking to a couple of candidates in Aberdeenshire and Murray for a couple of the profiles coming up. Hamish, have you finished yours?
Yeah, I've only got one left to do because I got most of mine on the East Coast done kind of at the start of when we started doing the council profiles. So I did all the kind of Lothian area in Fife, and now I'm on to doing Shetlands. I think it's the Shetlands or the Orkney Islands. It's for the last one, but I've not gotten around to speaking to anyone, as you can probably tell, about it. Because maybe I've got the entirely wrong island if I have, but that should be interesting because it's not really party politics up there. It's very big, very strong kind of independence and stuff like that, and they tend to kind of control the council up there, as far as I can understand. So
I think some of the wards up in the islands, I was looking at the size of the wards, and some of them up in Orkney and Shetland have about 2,000, 3,000 people living in them. Yeah. And then the wards down in Edinburgh and Glasgow can have 20 to 30,000 people living in them. So it's a lot easier for an independent in a ward where you could literally know every face of the person.
You could know every single person that voted for you, yeah.
Yeah. But so it's not just council profiles, although the council elections are obviously hanging over everybody's heads. We've been conducting some leader interviews as well recently. Our colleague Steph spoke to Alex Cole-Hamilton yesterday, the leader of the Scottish Lib Dems. And today, at midday, so in about an hour and 20 minutes, I'll be speaking to Alex Salmond, the Alba Party leader. And we were actually, we've thought of a few things we want to put to Alex, but we were wondering if anybody watching would have any questions, preferably about the council election, that they would want to put to Alex. So to let us know just in the comments, and we'll have a look through them after this and see what we can ask him.
Yeah. I've got the other. So you're doing Aberdeen for your council profile, aren't you?
Aberdeen, Aberdeenshire, and Murray. Focusing on the northeast a lot.
So we had the launch, the soft launch of the Union Terrace Gardens in Aberdeen yesterday, which has been closed since 2019. It's a project I believe is in the region of about 28.3 million. It's cost, and it's just a mud bath currently. And apparently they didn't notice that it was a mud bath that hadn't been turned back into a park until a couple of hours before they were supposed to reopen it yesterday morning. So they had journalists from BBC North East and STV North East there who were due to attend the sort of soft reopening. And they weren't going to reopen the whole thing, but it was like a part of it, I think.
That's so embarrassing.
Press, and they had told the public about it, and then at the very last minute they had to cancel it because it was not ready to open. And it's just,
I mean, it's in the centre of Aberdeen, is it not? I mean,
yeah, it's
some
right.
of the councillors might have walked past it on their way to work or something and noticed that it wasn't.
Yeah, did nobody like look at it and say, is this like, are we able to actually show the public this, what we've achieved over the past 3 years? They've blamed supply chain issues because of.
Well, I wonder the Tory Labour administration blaming supply chain issues. I wonder where they could have come from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't say the B word, of course.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, banned. Not allowed to say that.
Elsewhere in popular stories on our website right now, well, the most read stories right now, 2 of the 3 are about Douglas Ross's comments on trans people yesterday on the BBC. He said that trans women are not women, and that he thinks that people who were assigned male at birth should not be allowed to use single-sex facilities.
Yeah, he also interestingly said that they're not allowed. They shouldn't be allowed to change their. They can change their sex, but not their gender. He said he misspoke when he said that.
Yeah, he's now saying he misspoke when he said that, which implies that maybe he doesn't have the firmest grasp of the issues.
Yeah, it's never a man knowingly overbriefed. See, yeah, I don't.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, even for the local elections, when the gender reform really isn't on the cards, like councils don't really have any control over what the Scottish Parliament does in terms of gender reform. It still seems to be a hot topic. We're seeing a lot of protests from the side who are against the reform. We're seeing again lots of criticism of Douglas Ross. So obviously an active side for the reform, and any election's always gonna flare up these controversial topics.
I think Douglas Ross did. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure that he said that Tory councils would sort of would not allow trans people to use single-sex spaces. Am I right in saying that?
I honestly don't know. I don't know if he's legally allowed to do that, are they?
Well, because I mean, what he was suggesting in the BBC interview last night would have been, as people pointed out, against the Equalities Act. So what he was kind of talking about there would be a UK change of law, which I don't think councils have the power to do.
It's certainly not related to the Scottish local elections, but that hasn't really seemed to stop.
Yeah, it's kind of a world away from, I don't know, bins and cycle lanes and
potholes.
Yeah.
But unionist parties have been promising the world with some of their leaflets. I mean, I've seen the Labour leaflets promising a windfall tax on oil and gas, which will be interesting if my councillor in Southside Central is able to bring in. We'll see about that.
A windfall council tax on Shell because apparently live in Govan Hill.
But so we'll sign off there. I imagine, as I said, I'm going to go and prepare now for an interview with Alex Salmond, and we are really keen to hear what people want the former First Minister to be asked. So if you could let us know in the comments, we'll have a look through and we'll put some of those to Alex later. Otherwise, we hope you enjoyed our first inaugural live stream this morning, just to let you know what's going on in the office, what's going on with us. And we'll see you again tomorrow morning. It might not be me and Hamish, it might be some of our colleagues. Well, if you're lucky.
Depends on who gets a short straw.
Yeah, well, all the long one.
Right. Thanks very
All
much.
right. We'll see you
Yeah.
later. Have a good day, everybody.